Shabbat Shalom, even though it's not the Shabbat, but I like to be in that frequency. Why can't we say Shabbat Shalom every day? He just wants us to have one very special day, and every day we should just remind ourselves that there's a day coming up that's special, just in case we forget, man. So, Shabbat Shalom, man. I'm talking to the future you. Don't get irritated. To the future you. Man, I hope you are able to have a great week and have a great Shabbat this week. How about that? Got some great info I want to share. Got a lot of great info. We're just going to kind of take it. I'm going to try to just cut it off in little pieces, but I want to highlight some great info coming out of Smooth's Perpective. He's very excited, man. You know, look, man. I'll tell you like this. You're going to look at it like, man, here's this white boy that got the drop, right? And I'm telling you, this is how I look at it. This dude is a truth seeker. And he's not afraid of the truth. And when you're not functioning in that frequency, when you're not functioning in a fear frequency, man, if someone is unafraid of the journey and can contact us and reach out and say, look, how can I help? How can I help restore you to your actual heritage, your actual land? How can I be a part of that? I mean, isn't that what's prophesied, that we'll get this type of help? But, you know, take out your notepads. He's going to drop a lot of Utah drop, a lot of information about different ways, you know what I'm saying, you can start looking into it for yourself. This goes along with everything Lex Will is kicking. We got the GoFundMe up right below here, so click on that, man, and you can check it out on the site as well, 432thedrop.com. Without further ado, let's get into this Utah drop. He's going to drop some camping stuff, all kinds of stuff, ideas that we can all kind of put together and add some stuff just to help whoever, you know what I'm saying. This ain't about being singular, it's about being a community. So these are just ways, you know, so you understand it's not about research, it's about real life. All right, so let's check out Smooth's Perpective and see who we got the drop, you know. Do he got the drop? You tell me.
Hey,
I think he got the drop.
So, I just came across a
yeah.
patch of land that is 47,500 acres right outside of Zion National Park, and all activities are allowed. Hunting, fishing, everything. This is a park that is, you'll see, just let me introduce you to it the way I found out about Canaan in Utah. Let's see. Alright, so I decided to look up where Zion National Park's boundaries were, because you're not allowed to hunt in Zion National Park.
Take
what
notes.
I seen was Canaan Spring.
Uh-oh.
So I typed that in, and I found out about Canaan Mountains. Now, let's get it. Okay. Canaan Mountain is located in southern Utah. This is south of Zion National Park, but in the same general area. It is a large mountain that forms a 2,000-foot escarpment above the valley. Canaan Mountain is surrounded by steep cliffs on all sides. There are only a few weaknesses in these cliffs that allow routes to the top of the mountain. The plateau is several miles long and covered with buttes, domes, pinnacles, hoodoos, canyons, and washes. This is a scenic and beautiful area that doesn't see as many hikers. The mountain holds historical importance.
Just right quick. Now, we've been reading about this, talking about it, right? We've been talking about all kinds of stuff, the frequency, all kinds of stuff. So when we're talking about getting back into, it's not just going anywhere, right? And it's not about getting some type of cult following of people to do this and do that. This is just one single option. And if you don't see it that way, then find your own wilderness. But when you understand that you're from here, I'm just talking to you right now, then you got to understand that they took you out of your cities and they set up cell phone towers and gave you all this technology and a music and a frequency that keeps you locked into their grid, their zone, their zip code, their grid. I don't believe their grid works the same everywhere. I believe there are sacred areas of energy that their 440 ain't rocking on like that. So it's interesting. I mean, I haven't, he's going to drop some stuff about the mounds and pyramids and stuff being found in Illinois. I don't know if there's any found necessarily in this particular area. That'll be interesting to know that. Is this something that they were doing when they first came into the promised land? Or did the mounds and stuff pick up because of other cultures, such as Egypt, building pyramids everywhere? Egypt being here, he's going to drop that. We got a lot to get into, so just take notes and understand this is not the all be all. So whoever's feeling like, what are you guys talking? Everybody gets nervous when you talk about leaving, like, damn. Then you see who's fighting for the system, who wants you to stay and watch yourself just, be chemtrailed and fumigated and drink fluoride water and have these armies in your cities. They're in your cities, but these aren't your cities. So we're talking about, is there an option to return out of their frequency into our own natural place? And could this be a bridge? Could it be as simple as going on a little camping trip? Let's go.
The mountain holds historical importance.
The mountain holds historical importance.
There is an old stock trail and abandoned cable works that lowered timber down into the valley. They were used years ago and can be seen today on the plateau. The mountain is made of sandstone, which is typical of the area. The Vermilion Cliffs are part of the colorful walls located on Canaan Mountain. Smithsonian Butte and Gooseberry Mesa form the westernmost formations of the Vermilion Cliffs. The Smithsonian Butte back country byway goes by all these areas. Canaan Mountain is an incredible wall that rises above the hills and canyons to the east. To the north are spectacular views of Zion National Park, including the east and west temples.
Come on.
Mount Kinasava and the Watchman.
What?
You can also see the Virgin River Valley and Eagle Crags. The mountain is located in the Canaan Mountain Wilderness Study Area. It contains 47,120 acres of land. Another wilderness area is the Paranaweep Canyon, which we could look into that, and I bet you they allow free camping. Everywhere around Utah allows free camping, which is located east of the Canaan Mountain. They are extensions of the great and vast wilderness that is near Zion National Park. The only difference is that fewer people hike here. The plateau on Canyon Mountain has groves of aspen, ponderosa pines, and juniper with pinyon woodlands. The wilderness is used mainly for ranching and a considerable amount of off-road vehicle activity. When I climbed the mountain, I saw several ATV riders. The north side of the mountain is located near the towns of Grafton and Rockville. Grafton is now a historic ghost town, and Rockville has a population of less than 250 people. The south side of the mountain is located above the cities of Hilldale and Colorado City. The only...
My bad on my camera slipping a little bit. Put it up. Oh, that might be his camera. Okay, I think it's his camera. But did y'all hear that? I mean, they said they had a population. Okay, so let's pay attention to what is being kind of keyed, because I believe that we're in the energy, we're in a journey. We don't know what's what, but we do know we can research the poison in the air, the aluminum, the barium, the desiccated blood that they're spraying in the planes. That's not a joke. They are literally spraying us with metals and poison and desiccated blood. That's just fact. Geoengineering, fact. HARP, ionosphere, blasting energy and electromagnetism and all this stuff, fact. fluoride in the water is poison. Poison, fluoride, fluoride, poison. Fluoride does nothing for you. Research it yourself. You know you're being poisoned in the zip code. Do they have permission to poison you on your own soil? Remember, the entity they worship also must worship the order when it comes down to it. Remember, he had to beg for a tenth of the angels to confound you with and do the Most High's work. Disorder is a function of order. But we're actually going to get into that as well through Smooth's perspective. So understand this. They say they got 250 people living there. Let me kind of go back a little bit. That means people already living there, man. That means it ain't crazy to be off the grid, and I guarantee they don't have fluoride in their water. Here we go.
That fewer people hike here. The plateau on Canyon Mountain has groves of aspen, ponderosa pines, and juniper with pinyon woodlands. The wilderness is used mainly for ranching and a considerable amount of off-road vehicle activity. When I climbed the mountain, I saw several ATV riders. The north side of the mountain is located near the towns of Grafton and Rockville. Grafton is now a historic ghost town, and Rockville has a population of less than 250 people. The south side of the mountain is located above the cities of Hilldale and Colorado City. The only thing that separates them is the state line near the border of southern Utah and northern Arizona. Both cities are known for having some of the largest polygamous communities in the United States. Outsiders are not really welcome here.
Outsiders.
These two towns
They're
were
outsiders.
known as Short Creek, which is the one of the large tributary canyons located on the south side of the Canaan Mountain. The name of the mountain comes from Canaan in the Bible and is pronounced Canaan. The descendants of Canaan were known as the Canaanites. This became a general term for all the inhabitants of the land of ancient Israel.
Remember, if your socks aren't blown off yet, we're still talking about America. We're still talking about a land that you are indigenous to. We're still talking about your history. Did you understand what he just said? Do you understand? Man, real spill. We are going to get help in these days from everybody. I don't care what color you are, where you come from. If you're down to help return the people, if that's your cause, if you understand now who Israel is and you're like, you know what, man, I've been watching these people get kicked around and I know their history, but I didn't really connect it that they're indigenous here and that the Canaanites are here, Israel's here, Egypt's here, Edom is here. It's all here. What if, family? I mean, you know, we're understanding that things are backwards, right? That left is right and up is down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? In terms of how these people have flipped the maps. When you look at the map, you're better off thinking left is right and up is down. Because they flip-flopped everything opposite. You have to learn to accept that. So when they say old world, new world, one, we understand it's just one world. But when we talk about old world in terms of what we read about, what they've read about in the oldest time period, all of that goes back to the Western Hemisphere. All the Atlantis and Lemuria and everything, the Mu, everything goes back to the Western Hemisphere. Eden. Everything is here. The portals are here. Lex will drop that, and I'm going to go back and drop something that I had dropped on that series, Worlds Beyond the Poles, of how this one lady is talking, and she's giving some information that she had gotten about how the poles, how the North Pole is really the central pole, and that the actual North and South Pole, or the two poles, are like beneath us, like beneath the plane. I guess if you continue to go past, South America South all the way past the ice, climb up the 200-foot ice wall, which is Antarctica, climb on top of that, and eventually there's these poles, and we're going to get to some drop. Oh, man, I feel like I kind of should go right now with it. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's pretty damn phenomenal. Man, all right. I got to do it. Hold up right quick. Hopefully I have this up. If I don't have it up, I'm not going to look for it. Oh, I got it up. I'm pretty crazy like that. I'm pretty crazy. All right. It's cold. It's hey, I didn't know I had it up, but look, check it. All right. I get excited. So you got the land, right? You got your land, you got Africa, you got the Americas. It's all Earth that we know. But how do you know Earth? Earth's only been presented to you in a package with an image of a spinning ball, right? So you got to first accept you don't know. Then it's okay just to journey. Then it's okay to be scientific. Then it's okay to test things and have repeatable, observable science. But you got to let go of this I know it all stuff because I went to school. All right, I graduated from UC Davis and I realized I don't know nothing because they taught me just bullshit. Everything I learned I can't use. I mean, I learned three-dimensional calculus. I was doing mechanical engineering up until my third year, and then I switched to economics. So I learned their math. I took their calculus to the highest level. But I don't, the way they package their abstract math and I can't apply it to anything. That's how I know I lost my culture. Because in our culture, we are math. We are the application of mathematics within ourselves, within our own frequency. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. When I say beyond the ice, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And this is a map. This is not somebody's interpretation. This person, Mark Sargent, you got to check out his work, Flat Earth Clues, the whole thing. Just watch it. That was one of the first joints I watched that gave me some serious drop to help align a couple things as far as the habitation and what these maps are, the UN flag and how that matches up perfectly with the azimuthal equidistant AE projection. Not the projection you're used to, but when you go on these type of sites, look for the AE projection because then you run into the flat Earth projection. But check this out. This is from Mark Sargent, and I'll drop it in the link. And then we'll get back to smooth.
There's no doubt that the flat Earth movement has been used as a psychological operation with a purpose of division. However, that does not discount the fact that it is based on truth.
Over 100 years ago, the Hawaiian Gazette published a story
That's where you live.
about a map that was made in the 10th century.
Notice, there's no Antarctica. All this ice is Antarctica. Right now, you can look up the UN treaty. It's a treaty that was signed, I believe, 1953. It includes all major countries. This treaty has never been broken. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. You can look it up right now. Open up a tab. You see all the countries that made a treaty. And these countries guard all of this ice wall in a full circle. So I don't care where you try to sell your boat. If you are not invited, you will not be coming back. You better get one of them Antarctica passes, and then they're going to let you on some little islands. But they're not going to let you up on this ice to venture out further to see more Earth. This is not just your Earth. Your Earth is massive. Your Earth is massive. And there are portals and poles to where, I'm telling you, people that got the drop know how to literally, teleport and stuff. They can go through poles and they can go through portals on you. The same way the sun and the moon do. I'm going to drop this later, but the sun and the moon literally do their thing, but then they go through these portals. One's on the east, one's on the west. I know it sounds crazy, but this is the system that's been created for you. And you are the people that inhabit it naturally and truly. And it's time to wake up and gain your ancient knowledge of yourself, because this gave you the drop over everybody. But knowledge is power. They took your knowledge, so they took your power.
The discovered map is drawn on the principles of the Mercator projection, echoes the current accepted flat Earth model, as well
See the ice?
as the UN flag.
See the UN flag?
However, there is one significant difference.
Hold up.
And that is that our dome, of the Mercator projection, echoes the current accepted flat Earth model.
All right, so this is the current accepted model. This is the AE, the azimuthal equidistant model. The first one they tracked this one back to was a Persian cartographer back, I believe, in the 15 or wait, probably back in, I want to say the 800s. It was a long damn time ago, but it was a Persian, cat out of that side, and he had this map, and he got it from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But this is pretty acceptable right now. I mean, this is your ice wall. All right, this is North and South America, Africa over there. Okay, North and South America there. So when you take your boat, you're gonna hit ice. Open up a tab. All right, say Antarctica ice wall. You'll see all kind of pictures of this. It's between 150 and 200 feet. What other continent do you know you got to climb up a damn wall to get on it? So it can't be a continent. It must be a barrier. So when people say, why can't you fall off the flat earth? It's a barrier. By the way, take a step back from your computer. Doesn't this kind of look like a watch? Like a clock, like a watch? What I'm saying is when you raise above it, above the firmament, see, imagine a firmament, imagine a bubble or a dome or some type of a vibrational layer, some type of crystalline sapphire layers that go all the way up. This is up, this is down. This is up, this is down. This is up, this is down. You can connect to your Father way up the throne, but they keep you at 440 hertz, which stops you right here. And you're stuck on their grid. You're stuck in time and space. You can't get off the clock. You got a 432 this thing. You got to get above the firmament. And then double that, double that, double that. Then you'll get your octaves up. Remember, you naturally have 12 strands of DNA. 440 hertz disconnects that. You see the way it disconnects everything else in the somatics experiments, right? So it disconnects your actual strands of DNA. Now they're doing conferences in Mexico about these kids that now have 3 and 4 strands naturally because we're coming back together again, which is why we got to get back on our own land. You don't think that might wake your ass up a little faster?
As well as the UN flag.
Look at the UN flag, same thing, UN flag.
And that is that our
UN flag
is surrounded by dozens of islands.
Look at this.
Reputed to be drawn by Chinese priests, the manuscript was hidden away from authorities for centuries. However, a letter found claims that the map was actually drawn by Buddhist priests much earlier in time.
The article goes on to read, the map was found by my brother in a Japanese temple in the mountains of Japan, said Dr. Kabayashi. It has been hidden from the Japanese government in modern times, just as it was in ancient times. For in olden days, such a map would have been destroyed by the authorities.
This begs the question, why would the authorities be so concerned about a map?
Do you understand? They have you on a spinning ball so they can keep you in space and time. That's where their grid is set up. If you get off their grid, you get off of space and time completely. But soon there won't be a grid. Soon, Heya will destroy this temporary frequency. So we won't have to worry about that over here. This will raise up in a vibration. This could have already raised up in a vibration. This could already be 432. But they're keeping this at 440, which is why I think some of those pyramids are tuned to 440 that are coming out in the acoustic examinations and tests, and people are going in with tuning forks, and they're going into king's chambers, and they're coming out with 440 hertz. And I'm saying, if Israel didn't rock like that with pyramids that cold like that, could this be an alternate frequency to tune you out? Could everybody have formed a confederacy against you and start making you build these harmonic things to tune you into a different frequency? The same way Hitler used this frequency on his subjects, the same way America uses 440 hertz on its subjects? Could they have learned that from ancient times? Could these pyramids be a harmonic grid? Could they be forming a artificial grid? And could that be why some that have studied it say that one of the few artificial chakras is the Great Pyramid of Giza? That is one of the few artificial chakras on Earth. If there's an artificial chakra, it might be connected to an artificial grid. And that might contain you right here. If they told you this, would you just stay here? Or would you say, you know what, I'm going to take my family over to, I'm going to build me a mansion over here and live good. I'm going to build me a kingdom over here and live good. So when they say they're going to blast off into outer space, they go up into one of these islands. And of course, these are not islands. These are bigger than Africa. These are bigger than America. You think this is play? I know. I said I'm just going to do this for a little bit, but I'm just going to let this thing flow, G. Let go.
Japanese government in modern times, just as it was in ancient times.
Back it up.
For an old
Reputed to be drawn by Chinese priests, the manuscript was hidden away from authorities for centuries.
Let's back it up.
However,
the Mercator projection echoes the current accepted flat Earth model, as well as the UN flag.
Watch it.
However, there is one significant difference, and that is that our dome is surrounded by dozens of islands.
reputed to be drawn by Chinese priests, the manuscript was hidden away from authorities for centuries. However, a letter found claims that the map was actually drawn by Buddhist priests much earlier in time.
The article goes on to read, "The map was found by my brother in a Japanese temple in the mountains of Japan," said Dr. Kabayashi. "It has been hidden from the Japanese government in modern times,
Let go.
just as it was in ancient times. For in olden days, such a map would have been destroyed by the authorities."
This begs the question, why would the authorities be so concerned about a map that they would destroy it?
So what is the truth about where we live? Do we live on a globe, flying through space? Do we live inside of a dome? Are we living on an endless plain? Or are there dozens of civilizations watching and waiting for us to remember who we are and where we come from?
Deal with it, man. Deal with it. Deal with it. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Come on, man. Don't tell me that don't get you a little, what the heck. You know, you got to be in that zone sometime. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I know you weren't. Don't even act like you was, because I know you weren't. I wasn't going to drop that, like, for a while, because I wanted to, like, it blew me away. I wanted to just be a little selfish with it. But, you know, I ain't going to be like that, dog. I'm going to share some things. I ain't going to share everything. All right, fine. I'll share everything. Whatever, man. Who cares, right? All right, let's get back to my man Smooth. And he's dropping that drop. I just want to get your perspective game up. All right, so now we can focus.
And especially to the tribe who traveled west of the Dead Sea. Canaan is an early name for what is often called Israel or Palestine. The area extends along the coast of the eastern Mediterranean. Lebanon lies to the north.
This is what I'm going to do.
Egypt is to
I'm going to leave these links. I want to go a little quicker because there's way more drop in here. There's a lot of drop in there, so y'all check out the link. He actually got a lot of drop that I want to share, so, you know, bear with me. I'm going to go to the next one right now. But ain't that cold? So you got Canaan, you know, all that stuff, which is really what the scriptures say. It's called Canaan because he never left. You know what I'm saying? His family never, Canaanites didn't leave. So they called the name after them. but that's not their land. So don't get twisted. When you hear Canaan, that's not me. No, that's your land. Straight up. So let's see this drop he did on Zion National Park camping. I'm pretty much going to let him flow with this. You know what I mean? Because it's self-explanatory. Take out your notepads, though, because it's going to be some drop. All right.
So I just wanted to talk about Zion National Park camping.
Yeah.
As I was just telling you,
Yeah. Let's go.
You can camp here off in the wild. Now, you've never seen night skies like this. How to camp in Zion. What comes to mind when you think about camping? Just you, a tent, and a jet boiler stove out in the lone wilderness of other nature, loving, park hopping, wanderlusty neighbors? Or how about a campground with grills, flushing toilets, and electrical sites where you can plug in and have all the modern comforts of the 21st century thanks to that humongous RV you saved an entire life for and finally bought, and now you're going to use it for the rest of your gosh darn life by going to every single national park, all 400 plus. However you like to camp, Zion will let you have it. There's campgrounds for tents and RVs, as well as backcountry camping for those of you who want to get into the nitty-gritty of the wilderhood. Now, it says read more, so when I click on read more, it takes me down here. Campgrounds. It lists all these campgrounds. $20 a night for tents and this and that. But what we want is free. And Lava Point Campground is no charge, located off of...
Just right quick, I just want to give some love to Smooth, man, because if you notice, he said, if what we want is free. You know what I'm saying? When you understand, man, when you gain understanding, it doesn't matter what you have to go through or overcome. You can come to an agreement. You can come to being one. You can come back to the Creator. Everybody needs to come back to the Creator. Everybody walking on this earth needs to come home to the Creator. But you, Israel, are the root of the tree. What does that mean? That you're just super duper special? Man, that means that is where the branches, the fruit of the tree, can all go back and say, man, what is this really all about? How do we really do this? What is Heya really about? If you want to know Heya, you need to always be able to get it from the root of the tree. And you got to understand you're grafted into it. If you become a branch, if you become a leaf, a beautiful flower, that's all a beautiful tree, right? We want a beautiful tree. We can't be everything. Israel, you are the root of the tree. You can't be the branches too. The branches got to be the branches. All right? The flowers and the leaves got to be the flowers and the leaves. The fruit got to be the fruit. So we got to forgive and open our hearts and understand, man. First, forgive each other for the madness that we've caused each other. Then forgive everything in between. Then you get on one frequency, one page. Then anybody that opposes that frequency that you've created by opening yourselves and opening to each other and letting somebody build, that can bring drop to your situation. If they can't, they can't. So I like that he said we, because I see this as my brother. Anybody that's here to help me build, that's doing the recon, that's saying, yo, this is how it could be. I can set y'all up like this. I can help however I can help. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? I know how to hunt. I know how to do that. Whatever it takes, man, to rebuild and do what you got to do the right way. I mean, we've come a long way. And whatever it takes in this next little, you know what I'm saying, campaign, you got to understand, inaction is action. You do nothing, that is also an action. So if you think it's crazy to go anywhere, just think back or do any type of research on your family and see, when did we stay in one place? When was it just a crazy idea to go somewhere together? When have we become that separate that it's just madness to think about leaving and going somewhere together? Oh my gosh, I don't trust you guys. I hate you guys. Who's done this to us? Have we not always picked up and left and survived? Have we not always gone from here to there? What if they were the same way you were? They would have stayed where they were and been destroyed. So praise Heya for this brother right here, digging in, telling you, yo, confirming and validating what Lex Will's bringing in. So with the GoFundMe, he's still able to focus on the land and actually buying land. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully if we get enough money in that, buying our own land, growing our own crops. In the meantime, you can just get your ass out there right now on a camping trip for free. For free. There's places where you can hunt, you can live, and then once you get over 50 people, now you're part of the commune. And you're living off the land. They can't just kick you off the land. Especially when you can prove it's yours. Now you're putting it all together. You know what I'm saying? But even if you couldn't prove it was yours, all you would have to do is move every 14 days. So you just, you know, here we are for 2 weeks, there we are for 2 weeks. The Zion National Park alone, when I was talking to Smooth earlier, man, he said it's over 6,000 acres alone. And there's over 400 parks in that area. Zion National Park is just one out of 400 parks. We're just talking about one park out of 400 parks. You understand? So don't tell me, oh, well, I don't like such and such. I hate such and such. Well, go to your own park. I'm just giving you an option to at least be in the area. At least you can at least be a part of the exodus in that case. You know what I'm saying? The more the merrier, right? In those situations. But you don't have to be cramped into one place, or I don't like Lex Will. I think X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? Get your people, get your 50 people and figure it out. I'm sure people got resources they can put together. You don't like them, do you? But I'm saying what we see is going on with the money, what we see is going on with the economics. When you see the price of oil drop over $100 just like that, when you see them ushering you into all these biometric chips, you need a chip and all these people getting chipped. Come on, man. You want to stay here for that? Is that your plan? What's your plan then? How you going to defeat it? You going to protest? I'm going to drop this from this guy, Dr. William Mount, who, it was actually Ron Johnson's site saying how the prisons, when we get to martial law, he said they already have, and I don't know, I haven't confirmed this, but this is coming from this YouTube author, Ron Johnson. He has a lot of this emergency stuff. He says that they already have little gas tubes in them. Prisons. All prisons have little gas tubes. And he says martial law hits, they just gassing them. He said they're not playing around with no prisoners. They're just going to gas them. I say gas them? It's hard to comprehend that, I know. So hopefully it ain't true. Hopefully what I'm saying is completely wrong. Because you know what I'm saying, we all got people, right? So, but that's what these, think about what you're up against. Think about the people that came to you with biological chemical weapons. What do you think they're going to do? You got to research the King Alfred's plan. We're going to drop that soon. We did a radio drop on it. And you can go to the site right now, go on the show archives. In the show archives, you'll see the King Alfred's plan. We laid it out for like 3 hours straight. Shout out to Ra the Great One, D. Will, Silas Nehemiah, Political Mike. We laid that out, so we'll bring it up again, but you got it right now. If you want to see it, you don't have to wait for me. It's on the site, 432thedrop.com. Go on show archives and check out the old radio shows. And again, we're coming back so we can start dialoguing, you know what I'm saying, a little clear, you know what I mean, and keeping out the static, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, you know, just all this stuff is just, yeah. Will they gas the prisoners? I don't know. But does that make sense to you if you're thinking like them? Yeah, you would gas the prisoners right away. And then what? Use the prisons as new holding areas. So you don't really need FEMA camps. You know, you can have them, but you got prisons that are going to be emptied anyway. Because they're going to take care of those first prisoners and then pull some more in. You know what I'm saying? And then take care of them and then what? Pull some more in. They're going to be gas incinerators and chambers. I mean, it's terrible to think about. But they already killed 300 million of you. Wake up. You already got slaughtered. Why is it so hard for them to think about them gassing people you love? Are we that ignorant, that short-minded, that we just forgot that we got slaughtered? You know what I mean? So come on. Come on, Smooth Perspective. Let's go. Y'all subscribe to this camp.
25 miles north of the town of
He's talking about something just for you.
Open June to October. 6 primitive campsites available, first come, first serve. Pit toilets, trash cans, no water, no charge for camping. Zion backcountry camping. If you prefer to get away from the crowds during the busy season, April to September, you might want to hike deep into the park and carry your camp along in your brand new
April through September. So this is the backcountry. So there you go. First, they got to find you in the backcountry. They're going to tell you later, like, oh, people, you know, go missing and we got to send search parties to try to scare people from going to the backcountry, which makes sense. You should be not just wandering around in the backcountry. But don't think there's not some drop in that backcountry. And when we talk about really setting up shop, that's probably where you would want to be, in the backcountry, not off the grid. You know what I mean? So, you know, all this stuff is free, though. All this stuff is free. You just bring your stuff. Remember at the top of this thing, it said you could even live like it's the 21st century. You know, we'll back it up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to run it from here.
Back and electrical sites where you can plug in and have washing toilets and electrical.
Look.
Loving, park hopping, wanderlusty neighbors. Or how about a campground with grills, flushing toilets, and electrical sites where you can plug in and have all the modern comforts of the 21st century.
All right. So if you just like me, like I'm not no outdoorsman. I'm not telling you any Superman thing. I'm just saying something seems to be happening here, and for some reason, all my energy has gone from just a radio concept to like, whoa, this might be the best I can do with my platform is warn my family and provide real plausible concrete solutions that don't involve getting killed, fighting nobody, but literally walking into a natural environment that belongs to you. Remember, the government is holding 770 million acres of your land in their trust. Why is it in their trust? Because they knew they had to give it back. 770 million acres are yours, and they're just holding on to it. And this is some of it right here.
Thanks to that humongous RV you saved an entire life for and finally bought, and now you're going to use it for the rest of your gosh darn life by going to every single national park, all 400 plus. However you like to camp, Zion will let you have it.
Wow.
There's campgrounds for tents and RVs, as well as backcountry camping for those of you who want to get into the nitty-gritty of the wilderhood.
Look, fam, this ain't even like some big decision type thing like, we all must move. I'm just saying plan A, if something is going down, and if you got the balls for it, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know, I'm bringing a solution. I myself have to get the balls for this. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not just saying some stuff like I'm just unconscious of it. I got 4 babies. So you think I'm happy about taking my babies anywhere around people I don't know? Remember, I'm reclusive. I don't kick it with people like that. and, but I'm chilling. Like, I'm to myself. Everybody that know me, you know, I'm to myself. I like my own space. But I appreciate, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you know, the energy of my family. So some people are like that, you know what I mean? So, look, I'm not the one to say, hey, I want to get around a bunch of people I don't know. You crazy? But I am the one doing some research on what they're doing to you now. In your food, in your air, every breath. You ain't taking a breath of fresh air in decades. You go outside for fresh air, think you're getting fresh air, you're just getting poisoned. That's reality. We're talking about getting off of this in these poison cities. We're talking about getting out before they lock us in. Because if you're not out before they lock you down in martial law, they won't let you leave. Yous can't go. Remember that scene in Goodfellas? Yous can't leave. They're going to do that. What do you think they're going to do? Just let you, you know what I mean, go then? So, I don't know what the timetable is, but it don't look like, you know, you got too much of this year even, you know, left. You know what I'm saying? The way that they're going with this monetary system. Remember, all they got to do is crash the market. All they got to do is close down your banks. And they will declare martial law. All they got to do is say, oops, Zika, martial law. And they will trap your kids in the school. You won't be able to get to your kids if they're in public schools. That will become a prison for your children. They will gas the prisoners, and it will be all bad, obviously, right? So this is reality. I know we want to get back to watching, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, The Good Wife and one of them TV shows, Kardashians, but remember, you don't want to be asleep when your father comes back. You don't want to be slipping. This might be the time to get your act right.
Now, it says read more, so when I click on read more, it takes me down here. Campgrounds. It lists all these campgrounds. $20 a night for tents and this and that.
You could pay for some are free though.
What is free? And Lava Point Campground is no charge, located off of Caleb Terrace Road, 25 miles north of the town of Virgin. Open June to October. 6 primitive campsites, available first come, first serve. Pit toilets, trash cans, no water, no charge for camping. Zion backcountry camping. If you prefer to get away from the crowds during the busy season, April to September, you might want to hike deep into the park and carry your camp along in your brand new backpacking pack you bought with the intentions to travel to Europe, but then you realized Zion was calling your name. There are quite a few great trails that require at least an overnight stay. Permits are required for overnight hiking. Here's some of our favorites. So then it lists all of these trails that you can camp on. But we know that at Lava Point Campground, it's free. So out here it can be free as well. We just got to get a permit. But you can take these trails, 9 campsites, but you can stay at any one of these places for 14 days. Where did I see that at? I seen something about you're allowed to stay there for 14 days, and then legally you just have to move a certain number of feet away. So you could go out there and just camp for free off in the wilderness. You just seen it live.
So, what do you think? I want your honest opinion. Come on. What do you think? All right, so, however it rocks, it's just information. We can't be afraid of information. The moment you get hesitant about that, you know what I'm saying, and you're like, no more information. No more information. You know, the minute you get to that level, then you've gone off the wrong rocker. You know what I'm saying? So this is good drop. It validates, falls right in line with what we're doing with the GoFundMe, pushing Lex Will's vision that he's pushing, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. You could have your own separate thing. That's the thing. It's not like, well, I don't want to be behind. I don't want to follow nobody. Nobody's asking you to. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Whatever his vision is, he's going to find it. Whatever your vision is, you're going to find it. But, you know what I'm saying, what you're definitely going to find is some type of activation. You see everything natural being reactivated, everything artificial is being put in more chaotic states, you know what I'm saying? So, speaking of chaos and order, you know, I'm going to do a quick, we're going to see that a little bit from Smooth's perspective. It's very interesting. It's just a quick drop on chaos and order. You are on fire. Stay on that fire. Blow it, man. Blow that smoke, man. All hey. You know what I'm saying? Everything you're getting, let it fire. Don't hesitate a minute. Don't worry about anybody seeing this and being like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? He ain't us. So what? This guy, man. Look. One white boy is going to tell you the earth is spinning and you're on a ball of water. And the other one is going to tell you it's not. One of them is right. You have to suffer that. You have to understand it. You have to connect that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if someone's pushing hey on you and they're pushing you back to being yourself again, that is prophecy. And you need to open up and understand that. This is a joint he dropped. All this he just dropped today. You understand? So something's happening. He went from kind of like, you know, I'm going to read some encyclopedias to like, God damn. And you know what I'm saying? I had to get at him. I'm like, what's going on? He said, man, hey. So shout out to Smooth's perspective. Check it out, man. Special feature. Let's go. Let's get it.
Everything classical mythology book.
Book drop.
According to Greek mythology, out of chaos came creation.
Whoa.
Where did human...
We just said in the previous drops about order out of... Remember the freestyling facts? The chaos come out of order, order come out of chaos? Chaos come out of order, this order come out of chaos. So in this abstract teaching, just like the Big Bang Theory, we're taught that everything was chaotic, and then boom! Out of that chaos came perfect order. Out of that chaos came the Ten Commandments. You know what I'm saying? So, or is there order, and order creates static for the purpose of the friction to create the diamond. Do you understand that? So, regardless of how you look at it, one is only going back to the chaos, but won't acknowledge the order that created it. But then it's going to still say, oh, but there is a creator. They're going to talk about the creator too. But in their vision, the creator came out of like nowhere into the chaos and started making orders. But they're not going to go into where did the creator come from. So the creator just can't pop into your story, and your story just can't start with chaos, and then somehow the creator just pops in because, you know, out of chaos came the creator. That's what they want you to believe. So pay attention to their, you know what I'm saying, psychology. You know what I'm saying, the way they try to kick it in the Greek. And everything comes out of that, man, that you're getting in a lot of your spiritual systems. where you don't believe the creator, but you believe the Big Bang. And I was talking to this brother earlier today. He said something cold. He said, he said, man, I was talking to an atheist. And the atheist said, man, why do you keep talking to me about God, man? Don't you understand I'm an atheist? And he said, what? High five, bro. High five. And the atheist said, what you mean high five? I just told you I don't believe in God. And he said, man, it takes more guts to believe in what you believe than it takes to believe what I believe. And the man said, what? He said, man, you believe that all this came out of nothing? That out of just nothing, out of just random stuff, all this stuff you see around you came out of absolute chaos? You believe the probability of that happening, as small as it is, that we can come out of something so damn chaotic and they haven't been able to repeat that. Remember, that's not repeatable in observable science, but that's what's pushed as fact, the Big Bang Theory. But yeah, he said, man, high five, man. It takes more guts for you to believe that all this order, man, came out of chaos, came out of absolutely nothing, man. Hey, cheers to you. I believe that there was order from the beginning. So that's cold, Smooth. There, hey, Smooth, Shalak. Man, shout out to my brother Keith Sarton. Shalak, Smooth.
And what existed before the universe came into being? These are eternal questions that every culture has asked. Classical mythology had its own answers to these questions. Creation myths about how the universe came into being, how order rose from disorder. That makes no sense. Nope. How can order come from disorder?
Right.
If something's disordered, it's going to stay in disorder until everything comes to order. This chapter tells you how it all began, emphasizing similarities and differences among the various creation myths. In the beginning was chaos. Today, numerous theories based in religion and science alike exist about how the universe was created. The ancients also wondered how the universe was created, and their attempts at explaining this creation formed the basis of various myths. One idea was constant, however. The universe emerged from chaos. It may seem as though nothing good could come from chaos.
Right.
But it does make sense.
Wow.
Before you can recognize and appreciate order, you have to understand disorder.
Wow.
If chaos preceded creation,
Whoa, so they want you to worship what? Disorder. They want you in which frequency? 440. Which frequency scattered the sand in the somatics experiments? 440. That is what? Disorder. They are saying that the beautiful patterns and designs you see in the patterns of sound going through the medium of water, sound hitting the water, forming a beautiful spectacle I've shown you, comes out of disorder. You saw how beautiful it was. They want you to think it came from disorder, from the scattered sand, not the sand in 432 that you see. We know which frequency they're on, right? So they're trying to say they started it. And that's Luciferian right there. That's the Matrix. This is the teaching of the Matrix. This is the teaching of 440. All of your religions, most of your doctrines, until you put it together and come to a concrete understanding that you are the Aztec, you are the Mayan. We went astray. We got rolled up on because we got into disorder. Period. And now we are choosing order. Lego.
Creation, then creation is simply a process of imposing order upon disorder. Begin your exploration of classical mythology creation theories with Hesiod's,
let's go back a little bit. I don't want to
Ovid's
run it back.
Metamorphosis.
Just hear what they say. Hear their psychology.
Constant, however, the universe emerged from chaos. It may seem as though nothing good could come from chaos, but it does make sense. Before you can recognize and appreciate order, you have to understand disorder. If chaos proceeded...
Or should we flip it and say, in order to understand disorder, you must first understand order. When you are in order, you can then see and examine and recognize the disorder, the chaos, the static. How can you recognize the order and see it in full spectrum from the perspective of disorder? Disorder is not focused. It cannot recognize the full spectrum of order. Khan, Cain, Cain and Khan.
Creation. If chaos preceded creation, then creation is simply a process of imposing order upon disorder. Begin your exploration of classical mythology creation theories with Hesiod's Theogony and Ovid's Metamorphoses. These two works are the main sources that show how the ancients viewed creation. Nothing but chaos. Before there was earth or sky or seas, all of the elements of the universe were one. And this oneness was called chaos. Chaos was a shapeless void of confusion, but it held the seeds of an organized universe. Contained within chaos, the elements, earth, sky, sea, were jumbled together. No one element had an identity. Earth didn't have its shape, the sky didn't have air, and the sea was not watery. The elements fought constantly until an unknown force put an end to the disorder. This force is not explicably...
So the elements was just scrapping. They was just having a cold scrap, right? This is what they want you to, This is what they're saying, man. You get it? You understand what they're teaching? So the elements are just having a cold scrap and an unknown force. So if they're calling it an unknown force, does that not mean, and can we not interpret it, that they don't know what it is? And if it's a force that they don't know what it is, how can they say it's just now coming into play because of the disorder? If they don't even know what it is? Could it not have been into play from the beginning? If they don't know what it is. They are talking madness, people. Your creator exists. Hey-ya. Hey-ya. Back it up. I was going to say back that ass up. You know what I mean? I said it anyway. Where's my mouse? So I can't even see my mouse at this angle, but I still got it. Check it.
Sea were jumbled together. No one element had an identity. Earth didn't have its shape, the sky didn't have air, and the sea was not watery. The elements fought constantly until an unknown force put an end to the disorder. This force is not explicably identified in the myths. Some consider it to be nature, others speak of it as a divine being or a god. Some myths leave out this force entirely, simply stating that the elements sprang from chaos on their own. Regardless, the elements were separated. Heaven from earth, sea from sky, heat from cold, and so on. And this separation imposed the order needed to create the universe. Outlining the elements. Once separated, the elements still needed shape and definition. According to one popular myth, an unnamed force, some call it the creator.
Oh, really?
First gave shape to the earth. The creator designated water to...
Whoa. So, out of nowhere, after all this stuff is going on, this unknown force again, Again, that means they have no understanding whatsoever what they're talking about. When they call it unknown, that is code word for I don't know what I'm talking about. It's unknown. What do you call something in the sky you don't know? A UFO. What does that stand for? Unidentified. Unknown. So they're telling you, whatever force Heya Heya is, they don't know it. What did Heya Heya tell you? He said in Amos 3, you, Israel, of all families on earth, only you have I known. Of all the families, this is my heritage. Israel, my heritage. Isaiah. They say this force, they don't even know it. So this is the best they can do is to get to the firmament. And when they get to the firmament, they just think it all came out of disorder. They don't understand the levels above it. So they rule you in 440 hertz. You're on their harmonics in their cities.
To its appropriate places, marshes, rivers, oceans, brooks, lakes, and seas. He then raised the mountains, smoothed out the plains, and shoveled out the valleys, distributing forests, rocky terrain, and fertile fields. Next came the sky. The Creator spread out the air like a blank canvas on which to paint a masterpiece. He added clouds, thunder, lightning, and winds.
Okay.
The stars, however, he drew from the confines of darkness. After setting up the sky and earth, the Creator added a few more things. This is when the fish came to the seas, the birds to the air, and the beasts to the land. Not all beasts were created at this time.
Okay.
Humanity still did not exist. You'll read more on the creation of people in a later section. But I just wanted to cover how it's stating that everything came from chaos.
Okay.
Let's get out of the chaos and let's get some order.
Boom. Now. Look. Oh, man. Share something with you from a battery die. This is not my sword. This is your sword. Praise Heya Heya for whatever frequency, well, for this frequency. You know what I'm saying? I own it. You own it. Own it. I can't patent a frequency. I can't patent energy. I came here to not slang energy, but to remind you you are energy. Remember, I'm in the vibration business. I'm in the energy business. All right? I'm in the energy business. That's annoying. Whatever. Look, I'm in the energy business. You're in the energy business because you're energy. So I promote vibration awareness. What does that mean? Wake up, man. It's time to vibrate. Vibration awareness means wake your ass up, man. Because we're dying. You know what I mean? I can't do it by myself. I'm just absorbed into this thought right here. Please don't come here to tear nothing down. Just let people have thoughts, man. I don't understand why people just can't let people just build. Like, it destroys somebody else's life to see other people happy. People find something that's like, man, we on like a damn treasure hunt, man. And it's for real. We backing it up with scripture. Shout out to Lex Will, man. Shout out to Hiram Art. Shout out to Michael Thompson, Copper Warrior. Everybody on this journey, man. You know, smooth perspective, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who you are. Let us find the truth. Everybody dropping that drop right now, man. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? People come out of nowhere. It should be like 3 new people a day just dropping some drop. Right now, it seems like we can't keep up. It's like an information superhighway. It just... I came at the right time, man. It just feels good. So I thank you for that, for having this platform for me to even have a seat, to enjoy the council. We're just having council meetings using this YouTube thing. Pretty soon this YouTube thing won't be here. We all understand that. So we've already started communicating, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this ain't no play. This research really turns into real life when you understand you're on your own land. It doesn't make sense to be a people and have no land, does it? So I'm telling you do. Why would you fight that? If I tell you your energy, what would bring you a negative energy? What would make you say, man, no? Unless you say, what do you mean? I ain't got that energy. I'm saying, man, choose up. Alright? If you are whatever you are, Just choose the creator. It's not complicated at all. Enjoy your music. Enjoy your thing. But tune it up to a frequency that is harmonic so that people that are enjoying it can feel good. Go to the site right now. Go to 432thedrop.com. Click on Compare 432. We've put up songs. You can compare them and have fun. Check out the vibe suites. You know, I try to do, I'm doing it by myself, man. You know what I'm saying? All these things. So I can't update everything the way I want to. But hopefully I can get a team of people that can help bring the music to another level. If you think the music sucks, maybe you can add music to it. You know, I need help. You know? And that's weird because I never asked for help before. This is the first time I've even said I need help. But 40 videos in, I'm going to tell you I need help. You know what I'm saying? I can't, I'm doing it on my own. I'm just scrapping. I got my own life. I got my own children. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm just trying to bring in a positive way. And I appreciate everybody for surfing this wave. But this is real time, real spill, man. And, you know, I'm just a goon from Inglewood. You know, Crenshaw on 83rd Street, 8th Ave. Live in LA a lot. You know, a lot of my life was in LA. A lot of my life was in Inglewood. Slauson and Renpo. Went to Westchester High School. You know what I'm saying? Went to UC Davis. You know. I had all kind of walks of life. You know. There was a time when, you know, I got so lost even in the system, man. I became a stockbroker, believe it or not. You know, I came out of college with my economics degree. You know, I had already interned with Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley up until that point, and I got a gig right away in Sacramento in the capital, you know, and that's what I was doing. I was a financial advisor. And I transferred down here to the Manhattan Beach site in Los Angeles, and I was a financial advisor here, slanging ICS funds, doing JP Morgan, you know, managed accounts and all that. So, you know, you got to imagine kingdrop, you know, with just a little taper up, you know. You know what I'm saying? Just low hair with a taper, little three-piece suit on, looking like, you know, I'm trying to be prestigious, you know, but that was a walk of life for me. I had walks of life doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But to go through all the stuff I had to go through and the downs and the lows just to get, man, I had to go so low to get this little drop I'm sharing with y'all. Y'all don't even understand. One day I'll share my story. One day you'll understand my fight. One day you'll understand why I'm fearless. You're like, why is he tripping? Why is he like... I'm like, man, do you know how far I had to travel to give you this diamond? To give you this sword so you can hold and slice everything and everybody around you. What can you stand on right now? Think of this as a circle. This circle has 4 points. In the middle of the circle, hey-ya, hey-ya. Say it with me. Hey-ya, hey-ya. That's the center of this circle. 1 point right here, you got 432. You got the energy. You got the vibration. 1 point right here, you got your indigenous understanding, your indigenous roots, understanding that you're standing on your own land. That you could be centered and oriented on your own land. So you understand your indigenous here, you understand your 432, you understand your frequency game. Here's your sword, I'm presenting it to you. In the center, hey-ya, hey-ya. 432, that's your energy. Vibration awareness, vibrating up. You understand your indigenous, you are from here. This is your land. You understand you are the seed, the energy of hey-ya, hey-ya. You can call it Israel, you can call it 12 tribes, whatever you want to call it, but that's who you are. You need to know that you are the root of the tree. You need to know your frequency. You need to know you're from here and on your land, and you could be oriented. You could be firm, fixed, and immovable. And you can be right here, and you can understand that you are the seed of the Creator. You are Israel, Kwam Yasharala. And then right here, you understand you ain't spinning, dog. You understand you ain't spinning, dog. So you got your flat drop. You understand your orientation. You can stop spinning and plant yourself firm for the first time without spinning consciously. Remember, if you think you're spinning on a ball, that means your subconscious is going like this. And you're trying to back it up with NASA and science, and they haven't shown you one live feed of this. You've never seen this with your own eyes, but you believe it. They've never proven gravity, but you believe the theory. You've been doing this all your life because they told you were doing this when you were a child and they inceptioned you with a little object, and they put it in your brain. And now I'm taking back my ball and I'm throwing that ball far away. I'm taking your ball away, should I say. I'm taking your ball away. So I'm taking your ball away here. Now you can take anybody's ball away. You got your frequency. You understand 432. You can understand the somatics. You can understand the vibration that you're getting above the firmament. Everything is heya heya, don't you understand? If you understand you're oriented, if you understand your habitat, that's heya heya. That's his habitat he took the time to make for you. He took thousands of years to make this habitat for you. Shouldn't you understand that you're not spinning on a ball? Shouldn't you understand that you have a frequency that can vibrate to the throne of heya heya? Shouldn't you understand that you're standing on your own land, given as an inheritance to Abraham? That you're in the promised land, that you're home. Shouldn't you understand that that's your indigenous home? That that's your frequency? You need to be where your frequency is. This is your frequency, the Americas. Your frequency is specifically tuned to the Americas. That's your lot. That's your order. If you're out of order, that's your own demise. That's why the Canaanites got what they got as an example of that. You have to be where you're at. You can't just take your entire family and just up, I'm saying as a whole group, as a whole nation. We can't just go to someone else's land. You can do your own thing probably as a group, as a 5 people, 10 people, but not 50,000, right? They're going to be like, I'm indigenous, baby. Like, get off my land. Who's your fathers? We can't sustain you here. You can't, but I'm indigenous. I got melanin. Who's your father? Where you from? That's how you're going to get treated, and you dang sure know I'm telling the truth. All right, so last drop right here should be mind blasting, and that's all I'm going to say. And we're going to leave it at that. We are at the 1 hour and 16-minute mark. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Smooth Perspective has been a DJ in this concert here. This has been a swag frequency concert. I should have some music playing. I need y'all to dig on this, and we're going to make our dismount. Egypt. Egypt. Look, man, he's up. He's up in the middle of the night doing drops, man. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life?
Little Egypt, Illinois, is a town. Here's some pictures, and then I'm gonna go into the meat here in a second. But the Cahokia Mounds is an ancient Indian burial ground, and let's just go into this stuff.
Drop it.
Explore Little Egypt. This is down in southern Illinois. Just gonna go through a couple photos.
Little Egypt is in southern Illinois. Remember what Horace Butler wrote about Egypt being here? I think he connected that land already right there. It never really, resonated so cold with me. But look at it from this perspective now that we understand a few more things. That's Illinois.
That's called Lake Egypt. Found that out. That's called Cave in the Rock. Oh wow, there's a book, Bondage in Egypt, Slavery in Southern Illinois. We noted.
Anybody getting activated? Any bells go off? I know a few did. I feel your energy right now. Remember, there is no space and time. So the energy that you feel right now, I feel it too. I feel it too. There is no space and time, right? No future, no present, no past. Excuse me. No future, no past, right? I mean, if you really want to get into it. But we're having this experience. We are manifesting thought. Whose thought? Hey, ya. You get it? Everything. 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 This is made of, you know, what they call atoms. But did you know that they also say that an atom is 99.9%, 0.99% empty space? So if an atom is 99.99% empty space, and this is made of atoms, then is this empty space? Who are you? Were you in bondage in Egypt? Were you in slavery in southern Illinois? Have you heard of this book? Is this cat up in the middle of the night with his shirt off, got sleep in his eye, because he had to give this to you? And did he not start his presentation with Heya, Heya? Did he not give all praise to the Most High? Bondage in Egypt, slavery in southern Illinois. This backs up Horace Butler's work, 100. Could this be you in slavery in Chicago, Chirac? Is that why we got so much family there? Huh? Are they still in bondage? Did the bondage ever change, or did Egypt just get on the back of your dollar bill for nothing? Lego.
Egypt means bondage.
Daryl Dexter. Daryl Dexter. Daryl Dexter.
In the house of
please, somebody find the PDF.
In Illinois, maybe.
Send me the PDF, please.
This is called Garden of the Gods in southern Illinois.
Okay.
Here is more photos of Gardens of the Gods.
Wow.
In Illinois, people.
Look, can't you see his eyes, his nose, his mouth? See his cheekbones? You see his left eye? You see what he look like? He's supposed to have a headdress on or something? Look at that. Look at that brother. Look at that brother. For real, man. This is in Chicago. Or Illinois, excuse me. But you know what I'm saying. If you in Chicago, this is on your turf. While they treating you this way, look what they're hiding from you. Huh? That's somebody's heritage. Who's gonna claim it? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. You gotta wake up. What if this is the old world? And that's the new world. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's go.
So, this is not far-fetched.
Where's the Egyptians? Where's the Hebrews? Where's the Aztecs? Where's the Mayans? You're like, where's all these people? Where are they? You are them. People, look at the trickery. Look at the crossover. How slick is that? Yo, that's the realest thing they ever spoke. What if it was all flip-flop, man? And I say you gotta think that extreme, because it ain't that extreme, because I think it's the real thing, King. Freestyling facts. I'm just freestyling facts.
Now, these are pyramids in Illinois.
Come on. Do you see this? Pyramids.
These photos. This is awesome.
Mound builders, pyramid builders, mound builders, pyramid builders.
Type in Cahokia Mounds or Garden of the Gods
Drop
in
it.
Illinois. Little Egypt in Illinois. Then I decided to type in biblical cities in Illinois. Popped up with this Cahokia Mounds. That's how I found out about this. And when I got in here, this was pretty cool. I'm going to get to the meat and then I'll read some more. So, right here, it says, Mystery of the Mound Builders gripped the public imagination.
Pyramid
A number
building.
of intriguing theories sprang up, suggesting that the builders of the mounds may have been Vikings, Phoenicians from the ancient city of Tyre,
Wow.
Welsh explorers, and even the lost tribes of Israel. In other words,
You could read it. Is he dropping it? Maybe I'm just bugging. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just projecting my own realities and putting things together on my own. Maybe, I would think I was really going. What did they say about the DNA activation? Is it whatever doctor that they were meeting in Mexico? You got to go back to that drop. She said that part of one of the symptoms is that you're going to feel like you're going crazy. When your DNA is being reactivated, you're going to feel like you're going crazy. So I tell my people, hold on. Allow yourself to activate. Don't go crazy. Just because you're standing on your own land and Egypt is here, Israel's here, Jerusalem, Mexico, Edom is here. Do you get it now? Where's the Mayans? Where's the Aztecs? And then, Ulysses Grant writes, whoever, and says, I got 7 million Aztecs to build the railroads. Why is General Grant saying he got 7 million Aztecs to build the... Oh, where's the Aztecs? Oh, they're building the railroads. Oh, who's building the railroads? Dang. That means they got your numbers down to 7 million, yo. It used to be 300 million before they got here. Over that, but they killed about that many. They killed over 95%. And now you think you came from Africa.
anything but Native American. So, anyways, this website is aaaanativearts.com/ancient Indians /Cahokia Mounds. I don't know if you can see that, but this is
Look it up.
definitely
Go back, pause it, look it up.
definitely a cool little find.
Yeah, man, that's deep.
Cahokia Mounds mark Illinois' most ancient city. While the record of European explorers in Illinois begins with the arrival of Marquette and Joliet in 1673, the chronicle of the Native American inhabitants dates back much further. This far earlier story, still only partially disclosed, reaches back into a dim and mysterious past. Scattered across the region are the relics of dead and vanished civilization. They have been called the Mound Builders,
Pyramid.
thanks to the vast monuments of Earth which tell of their previous existence, an existence which is still shrouded in mystery. Early settlers dug into the burial mounds. As the early explorers began to come to the Mississippi Valley, they began to find strange mounds of earth which were man-made and in distinct shapes and designs. The settlers began to look upon these mounds as evidence of a long-vanished and forgotten culture, and as they dug into the mounds, they found a wealth of extraordinary artifacts. These remaining antiquities included pottery, beautifully carved stone pipes, intricate stone carvings, and effigies of birds and serpents made from copper and mica. The mounds also contained a vast number of human bones, and it became obvious that most of them had been designed as burial mounds. So these pyramids are supposedly burial mounds. They say that about the ancient Egyptian ones too.
Right.
Over there in Egypt.
Right.
Mystery of the mound builders gripped the public imagination.
I mean, look, my battery's gonna die soon, but check this. Ain't it crazy, man? I mean, you gotta let this settle in. We keep digging and we keep discovering more lies. And you can't just stop here. It's too much fun. You gotta keep digging. Don't come on this page or anything. Don't you think you're gonna come in this frequency hating on our good time. We're having a great time. I think we're having a ball. I think we're planning hiking trips. We're doing all kinds of cool family things. Don't come in here with that static. I'm just going to have to drop you off. I've had to drop off many's of people because you think you're going to come in here and just pseudo chop your ass in here talking about, well, I don't care about Lex. Yeah, well, I don't care about this. Well, I don't care. Who y'all think you, all this kind of stuff. Hey, y'all what? Hey, y'all who? Like, man, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't want to play. I told you my battery's going to die. Let me try to kill that bull right there. All right. So, yeah, man, I got to hurry up. All right, but, yeah, man, don't come in here fronting because we will drop you off, man. You're going to see how we do it on the radio show, too. We don't play. So let's drop the rest of this. I think this is about good. Yeah, it gets deep. I just wanted to give you some intro to that. That might be it. There was some other stuff I was going to drop on. Oh, I might have to end.
Alexander Lauderwasser is a photographer.
I'm going to do that later. Yeah, I ain't ready now. I just don't have the time. Let's end with B.O.B., y'all. I know. I'm going to cross you over with this. This is how I'm going to do my dismount. This is my final drop. B.O.B. And he can take it from here. Love to all y'all, man. Stay in swag frequency. Choose up. You already know, man. Come in here and have fun. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy being scientific. Enjoy being, you know what I'm saying, having observations and sharing them with us and having thesis and hypothesis. We're building this frequency brick by brick, right? So don't come in here throwing stones at our bricks, our golden bricks, our treasure. We're on a treasure hunt. Leave us alone. Love to everybody, man. This is pretty crazy. But these are things that make you go, Shout out to my homie B.O.B. in that frequency, man. Hey, he's trill spill. So deal on it. And deal with it. This thing want to go.
If you go to Disney World, for instance, down there in the Haunted Mansion, you see the hologram, right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just...
I'm going to back it up a little bit. I know you guys kind of missed a part of that.
In which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later was he was a hologram.
I'm going to back it up and turn it up.
When you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old technique.
All right, here we go. Enjoy. For my cloning freaks.
Down there in the Haunted Mansion, you see the hologram, right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later was he was a hologram.
Well, it's a synthetic. The synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, if you guys can rent a video, the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Soviets have a different method called...
making people meaning temporary